my name is Brian Baker, and I'm making this video to demonstrate my voice-controlled room automation. A couple of years ago, I started working with Microsoft SAPI. It's an interesting speech recognition library, and I used it to do a few things on the computer, but I've since expanded it to control things around my room. I named the room automation Stephanie, taking a cue from Stephen Hawking, the famous astrophysicist, who has a computerized voice. And the room automation lets me do fun things like Stephanie.
Yes.
Lights. That. Once I got started on this project, I realized that it would be really handy to have a hardware interface, or a sort of avatar for my computer. So I hacked apart a mask from Hobby Lobby, added circuitry to it, put it on a desk lamp post. In addition to just housing circuitry, it also has some important feedback features. For example, SAPI catches a lot of false positives. This means that if I'm having a conversation with a friend, she might hear some words that we didn't really say. She might think we said fan, workbench, desk light. But you can notice that when I say these things, she doesn't turn any of them on or off, and that's because she's inactive. To activate her, I have to say her name. Then she says yes, her eyes light up, and that lets me know that she's ready to listen for more commands. Stephanie.
Yes.
Workbench. Workbench. That's all. The that's all command simply deactivates Stephanie. It turns her eyes off to let me know that she's not listening for more commands. There's also a timeout so that if I forget to say that's all, she'll automatically stop listening after a certain amount of time. Another feature of my room automation is control over the blinds. This is the bay window in my room. It has Venetian blinds, and so I hacked a Robo Sapien apart and took the geared motors out of it. Robo Sapiens are great for this. They have about 7 geared DC motors in. So I mounted them to the wall, connected them to the blinds, and I built a simple motor control circuit that Stephanie runs. Now I can do things like this. Stephanie.
Yes.
Open middle bay blind. Close middle bay blind. That's all. In addition to just opening and closing the individual blinds, or all of them together, I also thought it would be a nice idea to wake up every once in a while with sunlight in the room. So I built an alarm into the program, but instead of playing a sound or doing something else, it simply opens the blinds at a certain time. Stephanie.
Yes.
Set a sunlight alarm.
What time shall I set the sunlight alarm for?
9.
The sunlight alarm will be set for 9 a.m. Is it correct?
Yes.
Sunlight alarm has been set.
That's all. One of the nice features of SAPI is that it will tell your program exactly when it's playing any type of a sound in a word. That way you can pick out syllables and you can actually make the physical mouth move somewhat in sync with what she's actually saying. For example, I have a few features where she can read off the weather, or get bus times at the nearest intersection, or name the song that's currently playing in Winamp. Stephanie.
Yes.
Weather.
Retrieving weather. Cloudy and windy, and 36 degrees.
Play. What song is this?
2. Cowboy Bebop Rush.
That's all. Now, in a Hollywood movie, if somebody was going to work on a robot, they would press a button, parts of the robot would slide around, fog would pour out, music would play, and there'd be strobe lights. And while I don't have the budget for quite all of those effects, I still thought it would be interesting to do something cool for if I was working on Stephanie. So I took the microcontroller, put it on a hacked apart CD tray, and placed it so that it was right where her brain would actually be to achieve this effect. Stephanie.
Yes.
Eject brain. That's all. You can see the microcontroller is actually right here. This is the CD tray that slid out. and wires run back inside, all the way back to the Board of Education, so that I can mount it somewhere other than in the socket where it's supposed to go. Stephanie,
Yes.
retract brain. That's all. I hope to get a closer view of this sometime, but right now I have a webcam that's mounted on a very small USB cord, so I'm afraid we'll just have to wait. Well, that just about tears it for everything on Stephanie. There's a few other features, but if you want to find out more, or find out more about how I did it and download source code, just visit my website. Thanks.